Alrighty, hi everyone. So it is Drea again. So I am wearing my extensions because I thought it would be only fitting for this video. And what I'm going to talk about today is being transgender and your dysphoria. So I've had a couple people come and talk to me about how I dealt with being dysphoric and how I dealt with all of that. And so my simple answer to that is I learned to put my time and effort into things that would make my transition a little bit better. So like what I mean by that is like, so a lot of people have the bottom dysphoria a lot of times. And I did too at first, and I really struggled with that, and I still do on occasion, but what I learned to do is I learned to put all of my effort into getting the body I want. Because when your effort is being put on something else in your transition, like once you start to achieve that and see that, like it becomes something that you're like, oh yes, I'm getting more and more comfortable in my skin. I'm getting more and more, etc., etc. So like when I started working out and I started getting the body I wanted, like I was like, yes, like I'm getting to where I want to be with my body and my transition. So now it's just waiting and time and putting more effort in to lose some more weight and get a flatter belly and all of these things. And like, so that took up my time. So I really engulfed myself in the physical side of being super fit and trying to eat healthy and do all of these things, which are super good for your transition, and not only your transition, but your health. The reason I put in my extensions is because early in my transition, like extensions were my go-to. Like I always had extensions in. I didn't leave the house without them, and they're just something that, because a lot of times, like a huge part that kind of gives people a lot of dysphoria is the short hair, and a lot of people opt for wigs, and that's okay. Like I'm not the biggest fan of wigs, just because like in order to like get a wig that is you can do stuff with is a lot of fucking money. Like you're looking at upwards of like $1,000, sometimes even more than that. And real hair extensions, which are what I have in, I think they're 24 inches, so like they're pretty long, like, and pretty cute. And so like why I opted for my extensions is because I mean, they're a little pricey. Like I did spend like, I think like $380 on these. But the thing about them is like I can curl them, I can straighten them, I can put product in them, I can do all of these things because they're real hair. Like I just wash it like normal. So even like when I do like curl my hair and stuff, like I'm able to just literally wash it out like normal. And then so yeah, like extensions were my huge go-to, and they took away like quite a bit of a dysphoria for me, just because like hair is such this thing for females that it's like this beautiful part, and like you just don't you want to have that beautiful hair, and it takes time to grow. And so like I literally kept my extensions in all the time, so like until my hair got about shoulder length. So like my natural hair is probably like right about there, maybe a little bit lower. But so like my natural hair is getting longer, and so like I'm at that point where like I'm okay with wearing my natural hair. But when my hair was still like boy length and like all of those things, like I extensions every day, because I didn't want to, like, that grow out process is so awkward at first, and like you don't want to get it cut because, like, well, you don't want to get it cut. And so you're like, like, and then you have to do something with it and all of this bullshit. So, like, I just literally wore extensions every time I went out. So the other part is, and this is probably the most important. I finally realized that in my transition, like, things are never going to be perfect and things are never going to be exactly how I want them to be. Things are not going to be excuse me. Things are never going to be quite, like, timely enough. Things are never going to be exactly how I want it. So what I learned is, and these are two things that I really live by and I really try and talk to other people about and really help people understand that these are two of the most important things in life, because everything else follows after this. So firstly, it's loving who you are. And why is it so important to love who you are? Because when you are miserable, you will make everybody else around you miserable, because misery loves company. But when you're happy, you're going to remain happy even in shitty circumstances, even with shitty people around you. So, I mean, when you start to love who you are, you get this happiness. And coming out as transgender is a huge step for that. Because, I mean, when you do not match what you really are, like, you kind of have this miserable attitude sometimes. I mean, at least I do. And I mean, I just figure pretty much everyone's like that. I can't imagine people aren't. And when you begin to love yourself, you can also love other people, regardless of what they do, regardless of what they say, and, like, regardless of everything about it. Like, you can always promote love, and you can always be this person that people want to be around. And that's probably one of the biggest things in my transition that I had to learn to do. And it took a while and it took a lot of work. As I said, like, I work out 7 days a week. I do all of these things for my transition, and, like, I see results. So it makes me happy, and it makes me realize that, like, more and more that I'm okay with who I am, even if I don't have my surgery yet, even if I don't have my boobs yet, even if I don't have all of these things yet. So I'm gonna take a drink of water quick. So the second part of this is also, like, one of the biggest steps you can do when you come out as transgender, and that's being who you are. And with being who you are, it's not only just coming out as transgender, but it's also about the fact that I am transgender, but what else makes me who I am? What do I want to be in my life? Like, and it's not so much along the lines of, oh, I want to be rich, I want to have money, I want to blah, 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 blah. But, like, who am I at my core? Like, what values do I have? And what values make me who I am? What makes me, at my core, who I am? And this was one of the most important things in my transition, because it made me realize that, like, okay, like, I'm in the middle of my transition. I wish I was further, but I am who I am, and I am where I am, and I have to learn to embrace my transition, and I have to embrace where I'm at, and I have to deal with where I'm at, because if I don't deal with it, I'm going to be miserable. I'm going to not be happy. Nothing's going to be good enough until that one thing happens. And then it's going to be something else that you're fixated on. And it's this vicious circle. So you have to learn to really be okay with who you are at the time, and be who you are, and learn who you are, and stick to who you are. So, like, this was, like, one of the major moments in my life that I really had to get down, because it was like, okay, like, what am I doing with my fucking life? Like, who am I? Why am I not happy? Like, even when I came out as transgender, like, at first I was super happy, and then I got back into my depression state and my anxiety state. And I'm like, what is wrong? Like, why can I not get out of this? Like, I'm happy. I was happy. I'm doing good. And then it all comes back again. Like, what is going on with my life that I can't just seem to be happy? And I learned that it was because I was always comparing myself to somebody else. I was like, I want to look like this person. I want that body. And I never took action because I was so obsessed with finding it out. Sorry, my boobs are so itchy right now. And so I was so obsessed with these people and being like that. And when it came down to it, like, I will never look like certain people because my body is built differently. I am structured differently. So like one of my examples is like Gigi Gorgeous. Like, she is the epitome of beauty, and she's slender, and like she's just beautiful. And like that is who I strive to be like for years and years and years. And I had eating disorders because of it, and I did all of these crazy fads just so I could have that body. And then one day I realized that like I will never have that body. Like, I do not have that build. Like, some people are skinny, some people are more broad in the shoulder, some people are muscular. There's so many different types of people in their transition. And then what also really helped me was I was like, okay, there are very pretty females that are so completely different from each other. So even though this type is super pretty, my type can be super pretty, your type can be super pretty, everybody's type can be something that's beautiful, because we're not all going to look alike. There's nobody really that looks alike except for identical twins and maybe like cousins. So it's like, it's the struggle, because it's like, okay, like I want all these things, but like I can't get them right at this moment. And like the bodies that I wished for and wanted, like if I was that skinny, I would look so unhealthy. And like I've been that skinny and I look so unhealthy because like my collarbone just starts to pop. Like my arms get so tiny, and like it doesn't look good on my frame, because I am built to have a little bit more muscle, and I'm built to have a little bit more of the tone look and the athletic look than I am to be the skinny look. And those are two very different things, because you have the skinny look and then you have the athletic look, which is still skinny, but it's just not that. And that's not my body type. And I had to learn to really deal with the fact that my body type is different. My body type is not like everybody else's, and nor is everybody else's like mine, and vice versa, and etc. And that really kind of made me see things in a new light, because I was like, okay, like I am okay. Like I am still cute. I am still pretty. It's just in a different way, and I'm never going to quite look like that. And that's okay, because I'm going to be pretty in my own way. And so that is pretty much what I did to deal with my dysphoria. Was a lot of putting my effort into different parts of my transition, like getting fit, eating healthy, blah, 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 blah. So like that is what I recommend for people to do that are having a lot of dysphoria, and really learning to be who you are and love who you are, and really getting divulged into doing that, because it's so important in your transition, and not only in your transition, just in everyday life. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Subscribe, put future videos that you want me to do in the comments. I love to hear from everybody. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video. Alrighty guys, peace and love.